brighter sunshine now down at Temple Island. Twinkling off the water there. Great spot to go and watch your racing, isn't it? Down at the start. If you're heading to Henley Royal Regatta this week, and you get an opportunity to go down to Temple Island. There's not so many people down there, but you really sense the occasion.
It's really, the atmosphere is great. You can sort of cut it with a knife. You're sitting there, it's silent, although sometimes there's a band that strikes up a bit further down the course and you can just about hear that, but it's very quiet. You know, you hear the odd sort of encouragement from the athletes, and then it's this moment here where they set, the umpire sets them off, and then all the noise and all hell breaks loose as they take it off the blocks.
It's eerie until that moment, isn't it? Eerie quiet, and then it explodes into life in the next 2 seconds.
When I see that you are both straight and ready, I will start you like this.
So the Wargrave Challenge Cup, Tyne Amateur Rowing Club on the Berkshire Station.
Please.
They're not ready, the Cox's hand goes up. And on the Buck Station, Thames Rowing Club A, nearest to the camera. Waiting for the Coxes to settle. They're both happy.
Attention! Go!
So away from those starting pontoons they move.
You can hear the cheer, the calls from the Coxes there, draw, draw, which is a familiar call to most people. Yeah, good starts for both crews here actually, and both of these crews lost to the last year's eventual winner, Leander Club, so it's good for them both to match up here.
That's Tyne, and here at Thames.
Very aggressive there in that Tyne Rowing Club crew there, being led off brilliantly by the stroke pair there.
You can hear the power, you can hear the water against the boat. And it's evenly matched contest so far. Thames Rowing Club just a fraction of an advantage, but no more than that.
No, and you could hear the Cox there in the Thames crew. We see her now just as they came off the end of the island, just calling a sort of drive and really trying to get that off the block spin into some really solid driven strokes. And looking at the data here now as well, you know, they were looking at settling now, but still, you know, fairly high on the stroke rate. I'm just checking that boat speed here. It's interesting to see 18.3 kilometers an hour there. Interesting to see how they settle and how they maintain that into this headwind.
It's also interesting to see the stroke rate, wasn't it, darting up between what, 32, 33, 34, 28, 29 at its lowest point. You don't want too much variety, do you, on that number? You probably do want to keep it fairly consistent.
I think you can sometimes get a few blips early on when the boats are just taking off and the natural rhythm hasn't settled in. I think there might have been some anomalies there, but like it would
inconsistency earlier in the race, and then when you get mid-race, perhaps it's more consistent.
Oh, definitely. So you know, up at 40s and then settling down into something around the mid-30s here, and that looks like a really strong rhythm there in that Thames boat now. As they've just managed to sort of get a break clear water there on the Tyne crew.
This is race number 16 on the card, and we've got Tyne Rowing Club on the Berkshire Station. There they are, with a lot to do here. It's Jen Peacock in the stroke seat, and the stroke rate there.
Yeah, so slightly lower on the rate, wasn't it, than the other crew, and the boat, and also boat speed a little bit lower, although it'd be interesting to compare that to where Thames are currently sitting at now. They're a bit more into the middle, into the guts of the race, where naturally your speed would be levelling off at a sort of cruise speed. I mean, this was always going to be quite a big race for Tyne, this facing up against Thames A. I guess I'm trying to compare results previously, you know, 41st at the 8's head for Tyne versus 4th at the 8's head, so there was going to be a bit of a jump here, and yeah, looking at the Thames Rowing Club crew on the left here, Thames Rowing Club A, yes, they've taken a bit of a commanding lead here now, haven't they?
They have. They were just getting a little perilously close to the booms, and I think the Cox will be keeping a very close eye on that. Natalie Cayman in the Cox seat there. You can see Natalie glance over the shoulder to see what Tyne are up to, but you don't want to drift too much closer to the booms.
No, it makes your heart beat, double beat, doesn't it, when you see that? And I'm sure the Cox is always, there's a little bit of, you know, anxiousness when you do sort of creep towards the booms, because you don't want to sort of veer too far off to the other side to correct it. You just want to gradually do it, and it's, you know, it's whether you've done it with the steering or whether some of the athletes have decided to do it on their own. But it looks like, yeah, you can see the trace actually, like a bit like a snail's trail. You can sort of see the trace of where the boat's been, and there was a little bit of a correction there. But really neatly done. Put it back on station there, which is good.
Like a aeroplane's vapor trail, isn't it? You can see in its slipstream. Those booms, those wooden booms, are just planks of wood that float on the surface, and they're stapled down by the white pillars you can see, 80 feet apart. So there's an 80-foot gun barrel straight course for these boats to head down.
Yeah, I sometimes think of it a bit like, you know, if you went bowling and put the gutters up. But unfortunately, unlike when you bowl and it bounces off them, you can't really do that here. It's not quite the same sort of thing. They're not bouncy and squishy, these ones.
They're really not.
They really ruin your race if you do clip them.
We've seen a bit of boom action in the last couple of days, but neither of these boats look like they're going to succumb to that.
This looks a bit of a difficult comeback here for Tyne now, looking at the distance here between Thames, but credit to them fielding this crew, getting them here racing. They've obviously been training very hard up in Newburn, out to the west of Newcastle there.
There's Jen Peacock in the stroke seat. Cowie, Van der Break, Temple, Dyer, Bulmer, Chatto, and Annie Hayes in the bow seat.
You can just about see it on their club badge, which is on their chest there. It's the Tyne River God, which has a beard which is meant to represent the north and south of the Tyne, and I think on his head he's got some coal, and behind him is a pick and shovel, which is to represent the industrial heritage of Newcastle.
This isn't just rowing commentary with Alan Freeman-Bass, this is an all-round education we're getting. There's the Thames Rowing Club. Boats, Jessica Eastwood in the stroke seat, Davis, Rogerson, Cole Hossain, Sharp, Carlotti, Taylor, and it's Amy Gibson in the bow seat. And Thames Rowing Club on the buck station there. They can calm it all down, and the data for the stroke rate will show you a very different story now.
I should think so, yeah. They look like they've sort of putting it into neutral now and trying to save some energy for later on in the week. But you know, fair play to them. That's one of those things, isn't it? If you do grab the race by the scruff of the neck really early on, overwhelm your opponent like this, it then puts you in this position where you are in a nice position to row very relaxed and sort of manage the threat really, without having to sort of, you know, race the whole course to some extent.
Yeah, it's a psychological hit early, isn't it? And you get yourself in the ascendancy, and then it's yours to lose.
Credits to Tyne here, still rowing really well, really trying to put the pressure back on Thames.
So the Wargrave Challenge Cup in front of the grandstands now. Thames Rowing Club A will be enjoying this. They won Club 8s both days at the Met Regatta. Look like a classy boat.
They do, and they'll be looking for revenge on Leander, won't they, to lose last year's race by a length and a bit. So, you know, credit to Thames. That's obviously sort of G'd them up for a committed year's training for this project. So well done to Thames. It looks like they're on good form and ready to take on Leander if they meet them.
Yeah, Thames Rowing Club beaten by Leander in the Wargrave final in 2021 by a length and a half. Definitely will be looking to put that right this weekend. Well, they're making the right steps in that direction. They're very much still in contention. Thames Rowing Club A with a good win against Tyne. Over the line they come now. Tyne Amateur Rowing Club second in that Wargrave Challenge Cup heat.
I mean, you know, if you had a keen eye, you may be able to